All right. Good morning. We're looking at computer apps again. One of the things we want to do is, and some people might be new to the class, so if you are, we want to log in to our computer apps class by using that class code. If you've never been on Google Classroom, hopefully people can help you with that in the class. Shouldn't be too bad, but wanted to do that because I know there's students that are always adding to our class. So for new teachers or for new students, that is our class code. As you can see, week one, we had some information that we kind of showed. So those of you that are new again, we wanted to go over some things. And so if you wanted, you can use that as an example. We made first, we went to About Me, and we answered these two questions. People apparently typed on here. So we're not supposed to. What you want to do is go to File, Make a Copy, and then you can type on that document. So you want to fill that out. If you haven't done so, you want to make sure you get that done. But make a copy of it first. Then you will go to Community Service. This is what it looks like. There's handouts available down below that we can just get rid of. They're extra ones from previous years. But the main ideas are making the flyers of this. We want to use the font that they give us if it's available. If it's not, then we want to choose something different that's kind of fun or unique or it looks like that. This is right aligned. This is left aligned. The picture goes in the middle. Obviously, this is not real. This is a leprechaun trap. So what we want to do with this is a picture we want to make sense with the flyer. So anything with St. Patrick's Day, it can be a pot of gold, four-leaf clover, whatever. It doesn't really matter. Anything to do with St. Patrick's Day. Anything that's italics, underlined, bold, we want to make sure we do that. This is centered. These are just normal. These paragraphs are just normal. Left aligned. But again, don't worry about font type or size other than if it's there. If they give us one, like on the packet, it'll say a certain type of font. If we have it, use it. If the font size doesn't make sense, make it smaller or bigger depending on so that it does. Right aligned, centered, left aligned, normal, and then centered. You might have to make this, if it says 24, make it 18 or 16 so that it'll sit in there. But basically, when in doubt, make it look like the document. You'll save it as community service and then turn it in. You also have Go Tigers. We have green, red, and blue, all centered. Decorative underline just means underline it, double underline it. If you can italicize, bold, use the bullets, put them all in there. Obviously, this is a homecoming flyer, so you can use football players, cheerleaders, pep rallies, student body, a field, player, football, whatever. But this idea, again, the size and the type of font, if it's given on the packet, try to use it. If it's not there, use something different. And then you'll turn those in. So that's what we did before. Some students are going to be new today. So if you want to help them out, that would be great to help them out. We don't want these to be shared with me into an email. We want them to actually be turned in here. And so those of you that know how to do it, I know we're masked up and everything. You want to just show somebody briefly and then, help them out. That would be incredibly helpful so that I get so many emails. I can't be sifting through all these emails to find them when we can turn them in there. There's also drop boxes here, which some people have been turning in because they couldn't figure it out the other way. Whatever way helps you, and we'll kind of simplify things when I come back. Okay. We have some other instructions that we're working on. This is the stuff from the beginning of the year. If you want to look at it, the syllabus, that's fine. Week 2 then begins with what we're asking you to do today. And again, this is all stuff that I've talked about already. But then we want to go over some of this stuff. Okay. So if I had a Google Doc open, which I didn't, sorry, I'll give you a blank Google Doc here, and we need to go over some of these things. So you're going to be asked to do a couple different things. Changing margins. So let's go Dr. there. File, page setup will allow you to change the margins. Line spacing is here, where you can change some line spacing. But if you wanted to change the margins, you go to File, Page Setup. You can change them to 0.9, 1.25. You know, if you're needed, the teacher said you have to make it one page, you can't make it any smaller, maybe change the margins 0.9 all the way around. If you want to change the paper from portrait up and down to landscape, then we would ask you to do that here. You'd also go ahead, if you needed to change the page background of the page, you can go ahead and do that as well. And so you'll be asked to change the page color when we do our next couple things in the grand opening, and then when we test you or we do our audit in next class period. Changing fonts again are here. Obviously, we're not wanting to be too concerned. Google Docs has far less features. It's far less intricate. It's not as user-friendly, in my opinion, as Word. We're using it because you can do things at home, and I'm not sure if the Chromebooks have the Microsoft Office actions that you do. If you want to use Word, it is, I think, infinitely better to use. But again, if you don't finish something in class, you're going to have to either save it on a flash drive or email it, send it as an attachment to your email so you can finish using it somewhere else. That's why we're just using the Google Docs. So fonts, so like for example, there's way less fonts here than the others, but that's fine. Change the font size, bold, italic, underline. This is a highlight area. You know, inserting images, left, straight, you know, justified, right aligned, centered. Bullets, numbered lists. This is tabbing. This is an indent that you can mess around with. I would strongly encourage you to show rulers so you can see up here and over here what the ruler looks like. If you have this being moved around, it might stop you from being able to, you know, if there's something going on where this is moved to over here to 2 inches, then this means you can't use this side. So it's just kind of helpful to have that ruler there to kind of help. Other things that are in here, you got columns. Again, line spacing is there too. Headers, footers, page numbers. We'll go through some of these things with tables. And I guess we should, you know, if you haven't not used to Google Docs, this little item is the sign to use the command key. If you look down at your keyboard, there's the command key. So if you cut, it's Command X. If you copy, it's Command C. If you want to paste, it's Command V. We'll go through a lot of these things. I know we're throwing a lot at you, but it's good. It's good. We're asking you to do a lot of these things. Undo function. You know, if you did something, you can use these arrows. Picture formatting. I don't even know if I have any pictures on here. Let's say we throw a picture on there. Okay. In Google, it's going to be hard to mess around. So if you don't, it's hard to move it. So if you don't move this, so wrapping text, so then you can move it in between the words. You can make it so that it's a little bit smaller. You can change the line adjustment. You can change the transparency of it. So you make it lighter, darker. You can change the brightness of it. Contrast. You can change the color here. You know, whatever you want to do. Sometimes it's better to use this one when moving it around. Just kind of depends. Movement, text, fixed position. You're just going to have to play around with these items. And then this would be, you know, if you wanted to rotate the item, it's the same as over here. You can make it a little bigger. Oh, I guess not. Over here, excuse me. And then you can turn the picture however you want. Size, width. You can format it. But basically, if you move it around, use these 2 items, use this, you can get it to where you need to be. Okay, but that's going to be formatting the picture. If you have a bunch of text, we used to in Word do a lot of text glow, shadow, text effects, word art, things like that. For us, when we say text effects, glow, shadow, we're just going to say this highlighter here. Okay, and this highlight will go, and that'll work for us. That's highlighting. If you wanted to change the font of the color, you would change it there. Okay, so font color here, highlighting there. This is what we're going to be saying is text effects, the difference between Word and Google. Word has 1,000 different things you can do. You can really do a lot of different things. Here it's kind of normal. I mean, when we're not getting too far involved with it, that's fine. But these things are all going to be covered in our directions when we go here to grand opening flyer. So grand opening flyer, this is what we're going to ask you to do when you're done turning all these in, finishing About Me, Community Service, Go Tigers, which most of you are, but you just got turned in correctly or not emailed to me. But if you're not, you got the packets there, you can finish them up. Then this is the stuff that we kind of are going through. The picture formatting, if they ask you for a framing, don't worry about it because we don't have it. But anyway, this is the information from Grand Opening Flyer that you will do and create your own flyer. 1 picture minimum. It doesn't have to be set up where you have a heading, a picture and a heading like we did in ours. You don't just have to do it that way. You can do it a different way. Any way you want, actually. You can change the background color, use a couple different fonts, or use a couple different text colors. Shadow, reflection, glow, again, is this highlight. Slogan promotion, you want to make a business. So you're doing a grand opening flyer for a new business. It can be anything. A lot of times we have food, clothing, games, sporting goods stores, whatever, shoe stores, anything that you want. But you're going to be making a flyer to get people to come into it. You got to, expand on it, make up your own information. If you got a slogan, a promotion, a catchphrase, or something that would go with it, I would use those. A lot of people will do different things with their names, where they'll say one of the girls did Casey's cookies, and so you're kind of getting something kind of catchy, something easy to understand. The business you want to put on the flyer, where and when it's open, where it's at. It doesn't have to be Urbandale, Des Moines. It can be, Sunset Boulevard, Los Angeles, California. I don't care. Michigan Avenue, Chicago, Illinois. It doesn't matter. Whatever you want your business to be, whatever you want it to say. You want your name centered in the header and the page footer. So we haven't talked about that. So up here, you can double click and then you're in the header or footer. You can also go here to header and footer, or I believe here to header and footer. So we want header, and they're going to ask you to type your name. And if they want you to put it in a different spot, you can definitely do that. If they wanted you to do page number, it would show you on the first page starting at 1. So there's a page number. There's a header with the page number, because that's what they're going to be asking you to do. If it says left, then you know how to do that. Double click in there, move it over. Piece cake. These are just some ideas to help you, 2-for-1s, buy one, get one free, 50% off, slashing prices, just different advertising slogans that maybe you've heard on the radio, newspaper, magazines, internet, giveaways, marketing plans. Just be clever, have fun with it. It's kind of a good thing. Make sure it's school appropriate. We can't have a gun. We don't want to have a gun show or something like that. We just want to have kind of a fun little business thing. And you will practice these items. Everything on here, everything that's here will be asked of you next week when we do our little audit, which is basically make a flyer, and that's our test. So hopefully you're able to do that okay, and I'll be around Wednesday before school, Thursday and Friday before school, Thursday and Friday, that last period, 7th or 8th period, if you have any questions.